You click play on a game you bought years ago. Steam updates it, pulls down your save, loads the mods you forgot installing, and shows which friends are already online. You do not think about any of this. You just wait for the button to turn green. That quiet little routine is Valve's real achievement. Because leaving Steam does not feel like changing stores. It feels like moving house while the furniture, the game collection, the address book, and several questionable workshop subscriptions stay behind. So how did Valve make Steam almost impossible to leave? Not by building the prettiest launcher. Early Steam was ugly, slow, and regularly treated players like unpaid beta testers. Not by having always the lowest prices either. Valve won by connecting the store to everything that happens before, during, and after a PC game. Buying was only the front door. Updates, ownership checks, saves, friends, matchmaking, mods, reviews, achievements, and developer tools became the rest of the building. Then every new purchase made that building harder to abandon. In the early 2000s, PC gaming was fragmented in a very physical way. You bought a box, installed from disks, typed a product key, found patches on a website, and hoped the version you installed matched the multiplayer server. Developers had their own problem. Shipping an update meant preparing files, distributing them through mirrors, and waiting for players to install them. Selling a game meant manufacturing boxes, negotiating shelf space, and giving a publisher control over the route to the customer. Valve had lived through that mess with Half-Life and Counter-Strike. In 2002, it presented Steam as a broadband platform for software delivery, billing, version control, publishing, and anti-piracy. The first useful promise was not glamorous. Steam would keep games updated automatically. A launcher that patches software for you does not sound like the foundation of an empire. Neither does plumbing. You still notice when it stops working. Steam launched publicly in 2003, and the first experience was not elegant. Players complained about performance, overloaded servers, forced updates, authentication, and needing an extra program between them and games they already owned. Then Valve made the decision that changed the scale of the platform. Half-Life 2 would require Steam, even the retail version. You could carry the disk home, install the game, and still need Valve's client and authentication servers before playing. For customers waiting years for Half-Life 2, this was less a friendly invitation and more a software checkpoint placed in front of the door. Launch problems made the reaction worse. Some players could not authenticate. Others were confused about offline play. Steam looked like digital rights management wearing the costume of convenience. But from Valve's side, the move solved several problems at once. Half-Life 2 pushed a huge audience into Steam accounts. Those accounts gave Valve a direct relationship with players. The company could distribute updates, sell games without relying entirely on physical retail, verify ownership, and communicate with customers through its own platform. Valve had used its most valuable game to install the distribution system for every game that came after it. Risky. Also brutally effective. The important part is what Valve did next. It did not leave Steam as a Half-Life delivery machine. It added third-party games. Then it kept attaching services to the account. That expansion changed Valve's role. It was no longer only a developer distributing its own software. It became the company standing between other studios and their customers. A new release could be uploaded, updated, sold, reviewed, discussed, and supported inside one system. For a small studio, that could replace several separate services. For a large publisher, it offered access to an audience already trained to browse, wishlist, and buy inside the same client. Steam was not simply collecting games. It was collecting the work required to operate them. Your purchases formed a permanent library. Automatic updates removed the old patch hunt. Friends and matchmaking made the client useful while playing. Achievements and playtime became a part of a public profile. Cloud saves allowed progress to follow the account between computers. User reviews turned the store page into a decision tool. Workshop support let players find, rate, subscribe to, and automatically download community-made content. Each feature solved a small irritation. Together, they changed the meaning of the account. A Steam account was no longer just a login required by one game. It became a record of what you owned, what you played, who you played with, what you created, and what you planned to buy next. Now look at the decision from the player's desk. Suppose the same game is available in 2 stores for the same price. One copy joins the library you have used for 15 years. It works with the friend list already open, the controller settings already configured, the workshop already full of mods, and the profile where your playtime and achievements live. The other copy starts a new library with 1 game inside it. That competitor is not selling against a price. It is selling against accumulated habit. Valve built the same kind of pressure on the developer's side. Steamworks became a suite of tools for distributing builds, pushing updates, verifying ownership, handling cloud files, supporting achievements, connecting multiplayer systems, publishing workshop content, collecting user reviews, and operating a store page. A studio does not have to use every tool. Many games bring their own accounts, servers, anti-cheat systems, or cross-platform services. But every useful feature Valve handles is one less system the studio must build, host, explain, and maintain alone. Then the loop starts. Players prefer the store containing their library and friends. Developers prefer the store containing the players. More games make the players' library more valuable. More players make Steam more difficult to ignore for developers. Nobody needs to sign a secret loyalty oath. The incentives do the paperwork. This is the deeper reason Steam survived competitors with large budgets, free game campaigns, exclusive releases, subscription libraries, and publisher-owned launchers. A rival can build a store. It can copy a shopping cart, add cloud saves, create achievements, and offer a better revenue split. What it cannot download overnight is 20 years of player history. It cannot instantly recreate the friend groups, reviews, workshop collections, wish lists, guides, community pages, controller profiles, and thousands of games already attached to existing accounts. The strongest part of Steam is not one feature. It is that the features remember each other. Your library leads to recommendations. Your friends make multiplayer easier. Your playtime gives reviews context. Workshop subscriptions keep old games active. Sales turn wish lists into purchases. Those purchases make the library larger. The system keeps producing reasons to return to the same system. That does not make Steam invincible. Players can and do buy games elsewhere. Developers can distribute directly or use competing stores. Some publishers keep their own accounts and infrastructure specifically so Steam never controls the entire customer relationship. Valve also benefits from a position that raises uncomfortable questions about fees, discovery, platform rules, and how much power one private company should hold over PC distribution. Convenience for the user can become dependence for the market. Both statements can be true. But Steam's durability is not explained by one contract or one brilliant feature. It came from a sequence of practical decisions. Automatic updates made the client useful. Half-Life 2 made the client unavoidable. Third-party games made it a store. Steamworks made it infrastructure for developers. Community features made the account personal. And the library made every future purchase easier to place beside the previous one. Return to that old game you opened at the beginning. Steam updated it. Your save was waiting. The mods were still subscribed. Your friends could see you playing. Valve did not need to block the exit. It spent 20 years making the room more convenient than the hallway. That is how Steam became almost impossible to leave. The store became a library, the library became a social history, and the social history became a switching cost. Apparently, the best customer retention strategy is making the alternative feel like an unpaid IT migration. Which technology platform should I put on the autopsy table next? Leave the one you complain about constantly, then continue using every day. And subscribe for more autopsies of the systems running modern technology.